Hey everybody, Patrick Keller here. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you because, as you guys have probably heard from family or friends, this real estate market is a little bit challenging when you are trying to purchase a home. And last year I did one of these videos and I want to do it again as kind of a reminder and a refresher on how to win in a market like this. So, what's really important if you are trying to buy a home in a market like this is that you've got all your ducks in a row. Unfortunately, just taking a peek in a market like this or casually looking in a market like this is really challenging because there's really no inventory, and also things are just moving up so fast. They're moving away so fast. They're gone so fast. They sold so fast. So if you want to purchase and you foresee yourself purchasing in the next 4 to 6 months, the first step we're telling everybody to think about is get their financial ducks in a row. And obviously that means pre-approval, and real estate agents say that a lot, but it's even past that nowadays. It's not just a pre-approval, but it's strength of financing that's very important, and it's also down payment that's incredibly important, and then the idea of extra appraisal cash, which we'll talk about in a second. So you got to have a full financial picture, and a mortgage lender is going to do a great job of figuring out what you're pre-approved for and what you can afford monthly. But you need to sit down with an agent like us to discuss what your financial liability, for lack of a better word, what your financial expectations would be in purchasing the home. How much we anticipate you'd have to spend over on a normal home. If you'll have to bring extra appraisal cash, like all of these things. So you got to get your finances in order first. And I would say that starts with an agent. Have that conversation, and then it also goes to a mortgage lender, which we have a network of a ton of them. So you got to get your financial piece in order right now in order to be strong. The second piece is you got to figure out where you want to be and if that's flexible. So if you are dedicated to only one area of Indianapolis, you have to consider maybe being outside of that area or in a place that's close to that area, because with the way inventory is now, you go in any given town in Indianapolis and around, um, you may only have like 3 or 4 homes on the market at that time. One or two of them are distressed, and the other one's like new construction. It's not going to be done for 12 months. And then from time to time, a fresh one hits, but then it's gone in a day or two. So you got to really dial in with that location. Again, doing that with a real estate broker is a good idea. You don't have to do that part with an agent. You can kind of figure that out internally with your family or your friends or whoever you're consulting with in the purchase. But it's really important that you kind of figure out location. After you figure out your location, you got to figure out internally what is your motivation. Now, how quickly do I want to do this? How strong do I want to be? How aggressive do I want to be in this? Is this really the right time for me? All of those things. A real estate agent can help with that. A really good, honest agent would be able to tell you, hey, this is probably not the right market, or absolutely this is the right market for you. So getting with an agent is a good idea, but you internally need to understand this is really what I want to do right now. I really do want to move. Some perks of buying right now would be rates. So rates are super good. Um, they're still good. Historically, they're really good. Also, if you own a home now and you want to go up in size or up in price in home, this is a great market to do that in because you have so much equity in your current home. So those are kind of the upsides of buying. If you're a first time buyer, it's still a good time to buy if you have your financial piece in order with what we talked about up at the top. Okay, so make sure that you have the power to win in a market like this. So how do you win an offer now? So let's say you do all those things as an agent, you're ready. Okay, how do you win an offer? Well, offers that are winning right now are similar to last year, right? You might have to pay 5 to 10% over a list price. So if it's a $300,000 house, you might have to spend 15 to 20 to 25, sometimes even $30,000 over that list price to win it. In most circumstances, not every single circumstance, but in most. So that's really important that you consider that. Um, Unless the house has been on the market for a really long time. The second piece is that you have to be willing to be flexible with your inspections, okay? Typically 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago, you could say, hey, I want a full inspection contingency. If anything comes up, I want the ability to negotiate that. Well, right now, those offers are not typically winning. You got to be willing to say, hey, I'm not going to nickel and dime you for anything that costs less than $1,000, seller. Or I'm not going to have an inspection, which we don't recommend, but people are doing that and winning right now. Or you can buy a house as is, where you say, hey, I'm going to have an inspection. If there's a major defect, I can escape the contract, but I'm not going to ask you to fix anything. So there's some ways to do it. The last big important thing is appraisal. So houses get appraised when you get a loan, right? And if you're under contract here on a house and your appraisal comes back here, your loan company is only going to loan you this number here. So you have to generally, to win in this market, you have to have cash to make up that difference for the seller. So the people that are winning are the people that are like, hey, we'll give you $5, $10, $15, $20,000 over appraised value to win. I know it sounds crazy. Some people have it, some people don't. And you don't need that in every circumstance, but you need that in a lot of circumstances. Houses that are really nice, houses that are show ready, houses that have been only on the market for 3 or less days. These are the kind of things that it takes to win. So you need to definitely be thinking about them. And the last thing I would say is flexibility. Okay, so sometimes sellers need to live in a place a little bit longer than just 30 days or 45 days. So you can close on the house in 30 or 45 days, but let a seller pay you rent for 30 to 60 days while they find something. Or let a seller stay there for free for an extended period of time. We're seeing that too. So you got to be able to be flexible. If you own a home now and you want to buy and you feel paralyzed by that, don't. There are so many options to use the equity in your current home as a down payment for the next home, and you don't have to feel paralyzed, or you don't have to feel like you have to sell your home first, okay? You can actually shop before you sell. So there's a lot of options out there. You just have to be ready and have the right expectations of what to expect in this market. A lot of people are asking us, hey, is the market going to crash? The stock market's going down. Is the real estate market going to crash? And right now, everything we are seeing is similar to last year. Houses are selling above list price for appraisal guarantees above appraised values, inspections waived or as-is inspections, and that's still happening. And it's all happening because inventory is so low and there's so many people that want to buy right now. And a lot of people want to buy right now, and I think a lot of people want to buy well into the future, even if rates go up, right? Because home ownership, one, is the dream, and two, a lot of millennial buyers who have sat back in the market and rented for a long time, they're now entering their 30s, their upper 20s, starting families they want to own. And it's because we know real estate creates wealth in most circumstances over time. So people are wanting to do that. So it's a great time to buy, but it's a hard time to buy, and we don't see prices, going down anytime soon. We had people, saying that they didn't want to buy last year because they foresaw prices going up, and prices have went up 12% since last year. So now they're really in a bad spot. So if it's the right time for you, it's the right time for you. Sorry for this really long video, but I want you guys to understand what the market's really bringing, and reach out to me if you ever have any questions. Be honored to help. You guys are great. Hang in there. Happy February in Indianapolis. Ready for the weather to turn. We'll talk soon.